Welcome to the Freedom Property Podcast, the modern real estate brand empowering excellence. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We had a week off last week. Aimon, we're back in the studio. What's been going on?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the media team's moved to a different location because this place is filling up. So
Absolutely.
yeah, keeping busy. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Smashing it at the moment. So I had a couple of days off last week, which was nice. Had a little bit of a break. Absolutely. Yeah, you need to do that in real estate, I think. It's not worth running around at 50, 60%.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a little break and come back at 100.
Yeah, that's it. Nice,
So yeah,
nice.
Don't overwork yourself, agents. You know, this is freedom here. You know, it's free to work hard, but also have a break if you need it. You know, get your mind right. So let's provide a bit of value to the audience today.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Let's do the objections one that we spoke about.
Yep.
I think I think people need to have this in their armor right now. You know, they need to know how to overcome some of these objections coming at you from buyers, from potential sellers. You know, so yeah, let's throw a few at me. Let's see what we can do.
Sure. Well, yeah, I suppose first one, we've got a big list here. Yeah, it's so great. Just before we go, like, you know, every time we do the training, you know, when I'm filming the training or whatever it is, and, you know, you have the actual live action where, you know, you're throwing objections at agents, like on the spot.
Yeah.
So that's just the best because it's like they're literally on the spot with a room full of agents on them. And if they can handle that, then they can handle anything, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so I love those training days. And that's what this is all about. You know, it's, if you can handle it in that environment, you know, on training day, then you can handle it anywhere. So, but yeah, this is just repetition, you know, like there's a lot of good sales trainers out there, you know, like your Panoses and people like that, like the lingo kings, you know what I mean? And there still is a place for having this salesy type of, you know, stuff in your armor. But, you know, we're all about the systems here, but, you know, it's also good to have, you know, this knowledge as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's provide some value here.
So Josh, your commission's pretty high. I've had a few other agents in, you know, and they've got, you know, they're pretty discounted compared to you. Like, why should I go with you?
Okay. Definitely a question that pops up to me all the time. And Mr. Seller, I do appreciate that. And I do understand that my competitors do charge less than me, and there is a reason for that, you know, and I'm happy to, you know, do you a deal on your commission, but I'd much rather be negotiable when I put an offer in front of you. You know, like, and if I can't really negotiate my commission right now, do you really even want me in front of your buyer? So yeah, like, again, always happy to do a deal, you know, but this isn't the place to be doing a deal right now. You know, your seller's probably just testing you, wanting to see if you can negotiate your own commission, you know, so stand your ground, agents. Usually when I do that, you know, they're like, oh, okay, all right, sweet, no worries. But I also like to fizz questions back at them. So, Aimon, are you saying to me right now that if I do you a deal on your commission, you'd be happy to move forward?
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Absolutely. And what does that deal look like?
Well, like, you know, match the other agent's commission.
And what are they charging?
1%.
Yeah. But, you know, so I think it's good to just put the ball back on the other foot. I had this one a little while ago, and, you know, I said to the lady, she's like, oh, well, I just really want a discount, Josh. I just really, all the other agents are charging me less. And I was about to get into it with her and try and like convince her on why I was, you know, worth more, you know, and why she should pay me more commission. And I just said to her, so what's the other agents charging? And she said, 2.9%. And I was charging 2.95. And I said, okay, I'll do the deal right now if you're happy to move forward. And she said, okay. But so, you know, sometimes I think agents, you know, sometimes we're too quick to respond. I like to fizz questions back at the potential seller or the potential buyer, put it back on them, see what they come back at you with, and then just, you know, figure it out from there.
So, yeah, because if you don't qualify what number they have in their head, you could just undercut yourself and not even know. Like,
yeah, and are you really ready to do a deal right now? You don't walk into, you know, look at TVs and start negotiating on TVs if you're not ready to buy the TV. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if you're ready to buy the TV, we can do a deal right now. You know what I mean? So flip it back on them.
Yeah, nice. And I suppose it's about like the pre-frame as well. Like if, you know, if I'm sitting here with you and I know you're a quality agent based on all the media you put out and based on all the listings that you put up, it's like if I'm really after the cheapest agent, like you're not even sitting here with me, you know what I mean? So it's
Absolutely.
Like they want you know what I mean?
Yeah, they know we're not cheap.
So Josh, you're only 20. Like you don't really have much experience. Why should I go with you?
Absolutely. I guess, you know, it depends what you're looking for right now. It's the thing for me, like I'm still trying to make my name in real estate. So what's going to be really, powerful for me right now is getting a listing like this. So if you do give me an opportunity like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell absolutely everybody about it. And every single buyer I meet, I'm going to handle them perfectly, because obviously I want to do business with them down the track, which means I'm going to be looking after your buyers perfectly, and I'm going to make sure I sell this property. But because this is going to be one of my only listings right now, I'm going to nail it for you. I'm not going to waste this opportunity. It makes way more sense for you to be listing your house with me.
Yeah, nice. And I suppose, would you even throw in talking about like the database and the team that you have backing yourself up as well? Like,
absolutely. If you've got that. So yeah, if you've got a strong team, if you've got strong agents around you, definitely leverage that. But I think sometimes when I first started, I was 19 years old. I hadn't sold houses before, and I've got a lot of young agents in here, and you're gonna hear this when you're a young agent and don't have many listings. So enthusiasm will always win. So but come on, they're not going to work as hard as I am. They don't want this as badly as I do. This is going to be like so important for me, this listing. Like you really need to just give me this opportunity. And I'm happy to do you a deal to figure this out. Get the listing. You need to start. You need to get your career rolling. So do what you got to do at the start.
Yeah, and it's obviously working because a lot of the young agents here are actually crushing it and getting, a good chunk of listings. So
yeah, at the end of the day, like if you're young and you don't have any listings, don't try and convince people that you're the finished article.
Yeah.
Because you're not, So just go in there and, tell them, what the things that you are good at. You don't have kids yet. You don't have a wife at home. You can stay later in the office. You're prepared to work harder. You're prepared to put the extra time in. What else are you doing? So yeah. Just use your positives to your advantage there.
So Josh, look, I know you're killing it in Ormiston. Here's my house in Ormiston. It's $2 million, but why should I pay for marketing? I just spoke to another agent, and he said he'd pay for all the marketing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you want me to pay for your advertising?
I mean, well, yeah. Like, why should I? And the other agent is happy to pay for it. Like,
okay. And so with this other agent's marketing, what does that look like? Have you dived into that yet?
Yeah, I mean, he said he'd do photos and a floor plan and put it on realestate.com for me.
Okay. And what type of realestate.com ad is that?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. Yeah. You need to dive into that. I think you need to look at that because the package that obviously I'm talking about here is an extensive marketing package. So let's put this in perspective for you right now. Let's just say I did spend $5,000 marketing your home out of my own money right now. All right. And I list 10 properties this month, and I do that for the rest of the 10, and I'm down $50,000 before I even start. Do you think I'm going to be the best agent to be in front of your buyer right now?
Yeah, that's a real good point.
I don't think so. Mr. Desperate's going to be telling you to accept anything, So, yeah, these agents are already down. They're just, they're like in front of your buyer, like just starving. They're just like, please buy the house. That's not what you want. You want an agent that's going to stand their ground. And at the end of the day, Mr. and Mr. Seller, if I can't negotiate a $5,000 marketing package off you, do you think I'm going to be good in front of your $2 million buyer?
Probably not.
Come on. It's not what you want. You know what's going to cost you more right now? What? Picking the wrong agent. It's going to cost you a lot more than $5,000. But, I'm happy to do your deal.
Sounds good to me, Josh.
So you're saying right now, if I do your deal on the marketing package, you'll be prepared to move forward?
I guess so.
Let's do a deal. You see what I mean? So throw it back on them. Don't get into it too much. Just start asking questions, see where it goes, and figure it out from there.
Josh, I noticed you didn't talk about your own media team and how it's the best in the area. You would say that on that objection, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, always. Shout out.
Okay, cool. So look, I'm keen to sell, okay? But I don't want to be locked out of any house. And I don't want to, I've got a young family. Like, I don't want to be on the streets. So I want to buy something before I sell. So like, what are you going to do?
Okay. So, yeah, I guess it just depends, like where you're at, with everything right now. Like, do you want to, are you wanting to sell for the most amount of money, or are you just trying to find the right house that works for you?
Well, both is important to me.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get both though. So we just need to decide which one that is more important to you right now. Is it selling for the most amount of money, or is it finding the right house?
Well, obviously want to sell for the most amount of money. Just don't want to be, on the street.
Okay. All right. Obviously, if it was me, like when you're trying to buy and sell all at the same time, it's very, very hard because let's just say you do find the house of your dreams right now and you go out there and you try and buy it subject to the sale of your place. You're going to have to offer them fairly, because it's subject to sale. So then you've got to get yours onto the market. You got to get it sold. And do you rush yours onto the market and do you undersell your property? So you overpay and undersell. It's probably not a win-win situation for you right now. Okay. The other thing that you could do is just put your property on the market right now. You're under no pressure whatsoever. If the right buyer pops up, offering you a dream price, let's make it work. We can get a really long settlement for you, which will then give you time to find a property in that time there. Also, there may be potential that we could get the property rented back to you after it settles. So get you a contract, get you a rent back period, and then we get out there and we find a property. Then you're going out into the marketplace and you're like, I've sold my house, I'm cashed up, I'm good to go, and you're going to get a better deal. But I think, again, for me, this question is trying to figure out if the seller is actually motivated, like trying to figure out if they actually do want to do business or not. Because, like you don't want to just take on listings that, people just don't want to sell. I guess, what you're going to find, Mr. Seller, is that you're going to find the house of your dreams. It's going to pop up very, very shortly, and you're going to miss it because you haven't sold your house yet. You see, so yeah, that's again just asking questions to the seller. Like what is your real motivation here? Like why do you want to move house anyway? Figure that out. So just start asking these questions at the start, and then deliver a way around this.
Yeah, nice. And so, like, do you find often, like, when you're in the listing presentation, there's people that are actually, like, they're just kind of testing the waters and not actually motivated to sell? Like, how often does that kind of come up?
Oh, there's a lot of people right now in this marketplace that will sell, but, they're worried about finding the next property.
Right.
That's, as I guess that's the main thing I hear from agents all the time. It's like, like, how do I get this person to come onto the market? And it's just like, you can't, like it's nothing you're going to say is going to change that. You just need to really assess their motivation, So if someone really wants to sell their home, they're going to come onto the market and it's going to be sold. So it's not about trying to force people to come onto the market. They're ready when they're ready. So don't be an annoying agent, but just explain to them how it could work out. If they want to do it that way. But again, look, this will happen when you're ready. I'm here to help you when you're ready, so, and I can do this whichever way you want me to do it. And if you do find a property and they do let you go subject to sale and you do want to rush yours onto the market, I'll still get you as much money as I can, but again, have a bit of that in your bag, I guess. So, yeah.
So Josh, I noticed there was a house down the street that sold for 1.4. My house maybe doesn't look as good as that, but I want 1.6. Can you do that?
Yeah, look, I'm not your buyer, to be honest with you. So I need to get some buyers through and figure it out. But so you're saying to me that you would sell if you got 1.6 million right now?
Yep.
100%. Okay. Well, probably the best way to get the most amount of money for your property right now is to make sure we do everything right. So can I come and speak to you and sit down with you and show you how I can put the right process in play to get you the most amount of money?
We can have a chat about it, sure.
Awesome. See you next week.
Nice. So, but like, I suppose to dive into that objection, it's more so maybe you've already qualified where they're at, but they think they want like way more than what it's probably actually worth. Like, would you address that or?
Oh, look, everybody wants as much money for their house. Like, you're never going to meet a seller and they're going to be like, undersell my property for me, please. Like it just doesn't happen. So like, yeah, at the end of the day, like when you put an offer in front of your seller, it's a different conversation. So look, for sure, like I understand, and you deliver everything with empathy. And I understand that, this is what you would like to achieve for your home. This is the offer I've got currently for you. Let's assess this. What else can you buy? What would you do if this was the only number you could get? It's just about, just being, understanding where your seller is at and just, being open to whatever comes in, I guess, and knowing how to deal with your seller in those situations.
Yeah, nice. Alrighty. So can't afford to accept the next market. What's that about?
Can't afford to accept the next market.
As in maybe like what, like they've come from that market a year ago and it's kind of similar to the last one, isn't it? Where it's like they've come into it and they're like, I still want this amount of money, but it's
Oh,
not.
yeah. Some people say things like, yeah, but the one I want to buy is worth X amount, and I can't afford to sell mine if I don't get X amount.
Oh, right.
And it's just like, well, like the marketplace doesn't really care about what you need.
Right, yeah.
It's, it's only willing to pay what they're prepared to pay for your property.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to just deal with one thing at a time usually. And this is sometimes where people get caught up in these subject to sale deals, and, it's not the best place to be living. It's, I always say to my sellers, like, just focus on one thing at a time, focus on the sale first, figure out how much money you can get for your property, then go into the marketplace. Especially if the market's tightening up, if it's going down, like you definitely want to sell first, and then buy second.
Oh, yeah.
If the market's going up, then, buy first for sure, and then sell afterwards, no worries, but yeah, it just depends where the market's at.
So yeah, we'll only sell if they get a certain price. We kind of covered that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any open homes at my house. I don't want people coming through with their dirty shoes in my home. What are you going to do?
No problems. That's cool. We don't do any open homes if you don't want to.
Okay, so how are you going to get buyers through?
I'll just give you a call. We can organise it.
So you're saying private inspections?
Yeah, look, if that's the only thing that's stopping you from moving forward with me today, I'm happy to move forward with that.
Nice. What I noticed about the way you're actually handling the objection as well is that you are calm. And it's like if you're a seller, you're testing somebody about that.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is why obviously being prepared, and this is why we're doing this. It's like if you're prepared with like what they're going to say, then you can approach it from like, that's okay, rather than like freaking out on the spot, and then they can sense that and they can be like, oh, that's not the, the agent's too weak for me or whatever it is,
Like I'm never going to have a drama with my seller or my potential seller at a listing presentation. Like if I'm having a battle with you at a listing presentation,
you've already lost.
Oh, what are you thinking, agents? Don't try and convince someone on something they don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's like my listing presentation, like I do what I do, and then I say to them things like, so would you like to put a price on the property, or would you like to leave the price off? And they say, oh, well, I'd like to leave the price off. Okay, I'm with that too. I agree. And would you like to just leave the price off, or would you like to go to auction? Well, we don't like auctions. Well, tell me why. And they said, da-da-da. And that's okay. You don't have to do an auction if you don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to have a drama with you right now. Like, why would I? It doesn't make any sense. Like, get the listing. About them open homes.
By the way, we've got to do it.
Like come back to the open homes. Like, so listen, I know you didn't want to do open homes, but I've had like 7 people call me on the property today, and I could do 7 private inspections if you want, or I could just book one open home in for Saturday at 12 to 12:30 and just bring them all through at the same time. Probably makes more sense for you.
Yeah, nice. And that also is going to get maybe more competition as well, because the buyers can see each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, again, just don't have a drama. You can deal with this stuff later. This is about dealing with an objection. Obviously, you're going to get that objection sometimes at open homes. At a listing presentation about open homes, but that's okay. Don't have to do any if you don't want to.
Love it.
No worries.
And so same one, like the next one's kind of the same as well. It's like, I don't want to sign up the front.
Yeah, no problems. It's all good. Obviously, the more people that see your home, the better. It's going to make you look more motivated to the market. People don't really want to deal with people who they don't think want to sell their home. If we advertise your property as, just testing the market, probably not going to excite buyers to want to come and view this property, But yeah, for me, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do right now. But a sign is obviously going to help me get more people through the door.
Yeah, and especially like, for me just driving around, like the amount of times you see signs obviously before the property even hits the market. And like when I was looking, I'd be like, oh, where's that property? And you're looking for it on realestate.com, but it's not there yet.
Absolutely.
So it's like that sign like gets in your mind. If you're driving around the area you want to buy in kind of thing, it's like, it's real important, I think.
And remember where you are, agents, like, so if this house is on a busier road, well, look, you should put a sign up, the amount of traffic you get here, like people are going to notice this, if it's in a nice quiet cul-de-sac. Well, listen, that's up to you, but this is a very sought after quiet cul-de-sac here. Like people walk around this area like waiting for properties to pop up. They may not be on realestate.com, but they see your sign. Like, do you really want to risk that? So yeah, just assess the area and then work it from there.
Yeah, nice. Well, Josh, I think like we've got a lot more objections here. I reckon we do wrap this up and we do a part 2. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously reach out to us because, this is what we want to do. We want to provide value to the audience. We want to help you get listings. We want to help you overcome things at your listing presentations and and what you deal with buyers every day. So yeah, we've got heaps of videos like this, don't we? And yeah, we want to provide value to the agents out there. So get in touch with us. See you at part 2.